On today's show,
It's a Festivus for the rest of us, which means it's time to air our NBA grievances.
we look forward to the loaded Christmas Day schedule and make some bold Xmas Day predictions.
And the president meets the king in our top 10 plays of the week.
It's Friday, December 23rd. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world! Happy Festivus and welcome to the starters. Whether you're joining us on NBA TV or a little bit later on YouTube, we're happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
I'm so happy it's sweater weather.
To his right, it's the international man of mystery taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, it's the bearded one wearing a sweater dress, Trey Kirby. Hey, what's wrong, TK?
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication in the old flat chat with our producer, and now I'm wearing this luxurious woolen Bulls sweater dress. I mean, do I wear it well? Yeah. Is it dangerously shortcut? Yeah. If my daughter ever wears a dress this short, she's getting kicked out immediately.
You're rocking it.
Yeah,
Thank
I like
you.
the beard ornaments as well. It's like-
Yeah, you know, I just love Christmas, and I like to really Christmas it up at all points. Anyways, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starter. Surely about me wearing a dress, but if not, there's just one shopping day left before Christmas, but that's still enough time to get something special for the Starters fan in your life. This is this year's edition of the Starters Gift Guide. If they're a J.E. Skeets fan, how about a whole bunch of TBT pictures from Greece? Maybe a giant ice cream bat to gain a little weight, or a $60,000 flying, breathing dragon from the Hammacher Schlemmer catalog.
Hammacher Schlemmer.
That's exactly right. If they're a Tass fan, how about a Henley from that last time you wore a Henley? People are still talking. Or some fisherman's friend in the stocking for all those Doc Rivers impersonations. If they're a Lee fan, how about a framed picture of Merv Hughes, some skinny jeans, or a balsa wood flyer since he can't make a paper airplane? Or if they're a fan of your boy, one of the props from any of the various costumes I've worn this year, like a top hat, a water cooler, and maybe a full-on Robin costume. But whatever you end up getting this holiday season, be safe out there, have a good time, and keep tweeting us at hashtag the starters. We see everything just like Santa Claus.
All right, Christmas, few days away, obviously, but today it is December 23rd, which means it's Festivus, and we're obviously celebrating it. Just like last year, we have our Festivus poll again with Festus Ezeli's face slapped to the top of it.
Sure.
You have to do that here. But as most of you know, the tradition of Festivus, it begins with the airing of grievances, which is an opportunity to tell others how they have disappointed us in the past year, or in our case, this NBA season. We got a lot of problems with the NBA, and now you're gonna hear about it. So who wants to get us started? Who's upset about something in the NBA world?
I'll get us started.
Okay.
There isn't a viable contender in the East for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that makes the Eastern Conference a little less interesting. 2 through 15, can't find one. You can't find one. Nobody has really stepped up. The only team that has kind of stepped up are the Toronto Raptors, but in the 3 games that they've played this year, the Cavs have handled them. They've toyed with them. Comes down to the fourth quarter, and they know they're far better. And teams we expected, like the Celtics and some dark horses like the Wizards or the Pacers, have not become that team. The only team
What
that's...
about these guys here?
What about these
Yeah.
guys? You think there's a chance? Come on.
Well, they played the Cavs all right. I mean,
Yeah.
I know the Cavs just won the last 2 games against them, but I do think they do present a matchup problem for them, especially Giannis, but they're probably not quite ready to challenge them in the East just yet.
There's not enough talent. There's just not enough talent. I think the Raptors are the team that has been the closest because by far they've got the best record, 2 through 15.
Right.
But when it gets down to the fourth quarter, the Cavs are just so good. We're talking about a championship team here, but they spread them out, and there's no way they're big, whether it's Jonas Valanciunas, Bebe Nogueira, can move enough to deal with all that talent on the perimeter. And we're talking about a team with the best offense in the league right now in the Toronto Raptors. But when it comes to playoff time and you just match up talent versus talent, the best guards versus the best perimeter players, best guards the Raptors, that's their team, against the best perimeter players of the Cleveland Cavaliers, there's no matchup. And these 3 games that we've seen, they're a 50 to 55 win team, and they're good. But they just haven't got. They need a modern day big that can move 3-point line
To try and match up
rim.
with your Kevin Love or your Channing Fries. who just
anywhere
get 'em out
anywhere
the
to
front.
play D. Yeah.
All right, disappointing. Trey, what about you? What are you angry about?
Well, besides the sweater
Yeah,
dress, I'm
well.
also peeved about the Portland Trailblazers. They need to get their defense right. They're currently 30th in defensive efficiency, and it's not that they're just bad for this year. They have the worst defensive rating of any team in the league since 2009, 6th worst ever. That's right, worse than the 76ers the past 3 years,
Wow.
worse than the 2011 Bobcats, who set the record for worst win percentage ever. They give up a bunch of threes and a bunch of rebounds. Not a good combination, and the thing that's really bad about this is it's a bigger problem than just defense, because they would actually be a pretty good team if they could play both sides of the ball. They're 6th in offense right now, one of the best young backcourts in the league. And the super problem is that they have the 2nd highest payroll in the league.
Yeah.
Locked into a lot of contracts for subpar defenders. Not a lot of ways to get better. They got to figure out a way to make some sort of a move. Last year, they were 20th in defensive efficiency, won 44 games. If they can get back up into that middle third of the league, maybe they can get back in the playoff picture.
Yeah, that's a good one, especially with a team that had expectations.
For sure.
After having a good season
Yeah,
last year. And
some
they've
real
been probably
expectations.
one of the most disappointing teams in this early season.
Some hot Nerlens Noel rumors are coming for the Blazers, I'm
Real
sure.
hot.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Lee, what are you angry about?
I'm angry at unnatural shooting motions. And this is on both the players and the refs also calling it. We're seeing it a lot more this year where guys fake a guy, get him in the air, but the guy is actually going to land out of his shooting zone, but instead they're jumping in and trying to create that contact to get to the free throw line. I understand you want to try to get to the free throw line and get points, but when you're jumping in a way that is nowhere near your natural shooting motion,
Right.
and a lot of the times as well, the contact is incidental, because just because there's contact doesn't automatically mean there's a foul. We're seeing refs fall for it all the time and guys going to the free throw line. It is so frustrating, because if you get a guy out of position and then you've got most of the time a good clean shot, take that shot rather than do this stuff where they're like, oh, and then throwing it into
Right,
the guy to
right.
try to get the foul. It just, I mean, you know the rip through move. Remember the rip through move for a while? Everyone was doing that. And the league changed the rule and said, okay, if you're doing that and you're not in the penalty, it's a side ball out. It's not free throws.
Right.
Let's maybe do something like that for this same sort of thing. I don't
And what
see
would
it-
you do? Just not call it, or would you call an offensive foul?
Well,
because-
you can call either. The refs have to be a lot more careful when they're watching it and saying there was minor contact, no foul, or call it on an offensive foul, because you are the one. The offensive player is creating the contact. That's no different for me if you're just going like that to clear a guy out. If you're using your whole body to do that, then that's what should be called.
I agree with that. I hate seeing that. You're
Yeah.
right. And guys aren't shooting.
annoying.
They're just throwing their bodies to try and get the call. And a lot
Yeah.
of times they do, and that's why they continue to do it. And I like that one. All right. My grievance has to do with the Utah Jazz, which might sound weird at first because they're 18-12. They got one of the best defenses in the league, 6th right now in the Western Conference. But my grievance with them is that the injury bug is holding them back. So I guess I'm mad at the basketball gods, if you will. These injuries are holding them back from their full potential because they can't get their entire team really together. All the pieces playing at once. You look at the guys that have missed time this year. George Hill, he's missed 19 games. Derek Favors, 15. Boris Diaw, one of their new acquisitions, of course, along with George Hill, 9. Hayward at the start of the season. Hood now 5. Dante Exum missed a couple, goes on and on. Alex Burks hasn't even played the entire season because he's out with an ankle injury. The Jazz have only had, really, in my mind, their ideal starting lineup of George Hill, Rodney Hood, Gordon Hayward, Boris Diaw, and Rudy Gobert. Those 5 guys played a total of 57 minutes this season. And all of this, again, they're 18-12 and challenging a lot of teams on any given night. But I'd love to see them have their full squad there. That's the thing.
You'd have Bobo in for Derek Favors?
Well, you plug Derek Favors into that starting lineup with those guys, the other 4 guys. They've played a grand total of 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So either or.
Yeah.
Either you start Bobo or you start Derek Favors and you bring one of them off the bench. We just haven't seen it.
I think
which
it's
is
miraculous that they're 18-12.
Exactly.
They're
Exactly.
a really, really good team.
George Hill is the real X factor, I think, for them. To give them a steady presence offensively, controlling the ball, and then defensively on other team
sure.
point guards.
For
He
sure.
is fantastic.
So
It's a
hopefully,
playoff team, though.
Hopefully in the new year we get to see like the real potential, I think, of the Utah Jazz and what a lot of us thought maybe would be a 50, 60-win team as we got into the season. All right, we got lots more still to come here on this Festivus special. When we come back, we're going to look ahead to Sunday's NBA Christmas Day schedule and debate whether the Warriors-Cavs is the NBA's best rivalry. Come on back. Back with the starters. It's the best Christmas Day gift I think an NBA fan could ask for. 5 games on the 25th. Getting underway at noon. We have Celtics, Knicks, Warriors, Cavs, hello, Bulls, Spurs, Wolves, Thunder, Clippers, Lakers. What a day. Prep yourself, guys. Drink lots of water. But let's play a little special 3-on-3 edition of the Christmas Day schedule. Trey, you got a few questions.
Yep, I'm asking 3 questions to you 3 guys. It's 3-on-3. Warriors, Cavs, clearly the game of the day. Our last 2 champions meeting for the first time this season. It's going to be epic. So here's the question. Is Warriors, Cavs the NBA's best rivalry? What you think?
I think it is without thinking twice.
Yeah,
It
how can
definitely
it
is.
not be?
Yeah, I mean, they've met the last two finals. Those 12 games that they played were the most NBA fans were watching on those days. And they had a meme-worthy summer because everyone was talking about this 3-1 deficit that the Cleveland Cavaliers overcame after losing to the Warriors in 2015. No team has ever overcame that. It was phenomenal. And the fact that so many people were watching this game allowed that 3-1 sort of meme to envelop over the season, over the summer. Have you ever had a summer where we were just talking about one topic in the NBA? I mean, it's something that happened in June forever. I mean, people are still commenting everywhere.
Oh, they'll comment forever on this.
Well, yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
because it was a 3-1 lead that they
But
dropped.
I think there's genuine hostility between the teams as well because Steph was the MVP and then LeBron was
Yeah.
the Finals MVP, and I think a lot of people felt that LeBron was the actual MVP of the league and it shouldn't have gone to Steph. It was more like he was the sort of flavour of the month. So these two teams genuinely dislike each other, have great rivalry, both have a championship over each other, and that's what you want because sometimes a rivalry is like, well, you might have played one season but not the next, or you're a conference rival or something. But this, I feel, is the two conferences, biggest rivals, superstar names. There's always a lot of tension and drama around these games.
And right now, I mean, you said it not long ago here on the show, like it looks like the Cavs are going to run away again with the East because it doesn't seem to be a true challenger. And the Warriors, despite obviously the Spurs being good and Clippers and stuff like that out there, I mean, they look like they're going to go to the finals again too. We might, for the first time in NBA history, get the two teams playing 3 years in a row in the finals. That's never happened before. And we're on that trajectory, and hopefully sort of the fireworks begin with this Christmas Day game, and we hope it's a good one. All
It's
right.
feeling Celtics-Lakers-ish from the 80s,
Yeah,
right?
it has to. Absolutely. All right, Trey, next question.
Yeah, so if that's the best game of the day, it leads us to a logical question. What's the second best Christmas Day game?
Oh, this is tough.
A little tougher.
Well, probably Celtics and Knicks, I think, after that, because these are two historic franchises who haven't had a ton of success lately. Certainly not the Knicks. We know the Celtics won a championship not too long ago. But I think they're both moving in the right direction. And Madison Square Garden is always a venue on Christmas Day. You've got the Celtics, who are a genuine challenger in the Eastern Conference to finish in that top 2 or 3 spot. And the Knicks, I mean, Porzingis has shown that he is a true star.
Yeah.
They're not quite ready to challenge for the title yet, but at least they're in the playoff race right now, and that's what we haven't seen and we haven't heard a lot of from the Knicks in the last few years. So I think these two teams are going to stir up a bit of an old rivalry.
I would add one more reason to that, because I think it's the Celtics-Knicks too, especially because it's at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. You ever been to the Mecca? Come on. It's the best basketball arena in the world. But I'll add to this, Isaiah Thomas. I like the idea of a bunch of kids out there on Christmas Day getting the chance to watch Isaiah Thomas play in a marquee game against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. He is on a tear since he's come back from injury, scoring over 30 points per game, 6 dimes per game along with that. He's been great all season, averaging 26 per. The guy's 5'9". It's fair to say he's one of the greatest, shortest player to ever play in NBA history. And it's always cool, I think, for young kids to see someone of that stature lighten it up out there. So I agree with you. I think it's Celtics-Knicks.
I think it's Wolves Thunder because a lot of people, this is their first instance they're going to see Russell Westbrook on a basketball floor this year. This is the start of the season for some NBA fans out there. And for some people, they're going to see Russell Westbrook putting up triple-double numbers for the first time all year. This guy is putting up something we haven't seen in 60 years. It's going to be phenomenal for them to see that, and I think he's going to have a heck of a performance on this day. And on the other side, you mentioned people pumped to watch Isaiah Thomas. I think people are going to be pumped to watch these 3 young guys on the Wolves go at it. One of the 3 teams in the NBA to have 3 20-point scorers on their teams, along with Golden State and Cleveland. They're a sensational trio. They have a top 10 offense already. It's their defense that has to pick it up. I love watching this team. I like watching these painful moments where they're losing a lot of basketball games because I know the pleasure will follow at some point because it's just the D that has to go. I love watching
No
that
one
play.
wants defense on Christmas Day anyway. We want high-scoring games. I like that pick. All right, Trey, final question.
Yeah, a lot of big names playing on Christmas and a whole lot of basketball. Give me one bold Christmas Day prediction.
Well, I already talked about the Celtics and Knicks game, and what I'm excited about for this is I think it's going to be close, and I think it's going to come down to the wire, and I think Kristaps Porzingis is going to hit a game winner, And it's
Well,
going
not if Melo has anything to say about that.
And what's most important, though, is in our season preview show, I said on Christmas Day, Porzingis is going to hit the game winner, and the New York Post is going to run with this headline that reads, "The Knicks were good boys, so Porzingis delivered a Christmas miracle."
So you're doubling down on
Yes.
your prediction. I see what you're doing.
It's going to
All right.
happen. Perfect. It's all
Okay.
set up for it.
Unicorn game winner, and then we get that the next day in New York
That's
Post.
it. That's gonna
All right,
happen.
bold prediction.
I'm not sure whether that prediction or my prediction is crazier, but I think Russell Westbrook's going to go for 60.
Ooh.
He's going to do it.
Bernard King.
Bernard King, yeah.
His career high is 54 points, and it feels like this is the year he gets every single one of his records. He's on a day of rest. The Wolves have a very bad defense,
Yeah,
as I
yeah.
mentioned. They're 26th. They allow us a lot of second chance points. Russell can get on those boards if he wants. I just feel like every record that Russell Westbrook will ever have in his career should happen this season. So he should get his career high at some point. He only has a season high of 51. I think all the little recipes or all the ingredients for a 60-point game are there.
Yeah.
All right, those are both bold. Mine is not that crazy, I would say. I think by the end of December 25th, we're going to have a new Christmas Day three-point king. Now, what does that mean? Well, Mr. Ryan Anderson right now is currently the Christmas Day three-point king because he has the most threes made on Christmas Day with 6 back for the Magic in 2011. But I think we just have too many guys in today's game and the way it's played that could hit 6 or 7 or 8, something like that. Curry, Clay, KD, Mills, Kevin Love, Redick, Swaggy P. It goes on and on and on. I think someone on Christmas Day will hit, let's say, 7+ threes. I think it's possible.
Yeah, it's
a shame the
yeah.
Rockets aren't playing, but I think that'll happen. All right, gotta take a break. When we return, we'll count down the starters' top 10 plays of the week. Got another good one for you. Welcome back to the Starters Festivus Special, where it's now time for the top 10 plays of the week. At number 10, Lee, you'll like this.
Why's that?
It's a layup.
Oh, beautiful.
But a sexy layup from Damian Lillard with the acrobatic reverse high off the glass.
We've seen a lot of layups in the top 10 lately. It's nice.
Oh man, that's pretty. That is pretty.
At number 9, Jonathan Simmons, becoming a little bit known for the chase down block.
Oh yeah.
Gets a biggie right there.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Man, he makes up some ground.
Yeah, a little backhanded slap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good guy. Curry opening night, that was a beauty.
At number 8, Devin Booker.
Oh, yeah.
The big slam late against the Rockets. Devin Booker, future All-Star at the shooting guard position, known for shooting, dunking, not so much, but
Man.
that one, big.
Real nice. Here comes Russell Westbrook, a little sham God maneuver, and then the pass with a little bit of flair.
That is beautiful, that.
Yeah.
Everything about it. Just
Did
great.
did he lose that dribble?
Whoa.
Beautiful.
At number 6, little defense. Bismack Biyombo is going to deny Derrick Rose in the Mecca. Rose, I love. He's going to throw this down.
Yeah, he
He's
really
trying
cocks
to.
it back.
A little old school Rose there, but Biyombo says no. Puts the 2 thumbs down on that one.
At number 5, Jeff Green gives us one of these every year. A biggie on Brook.
Rough week for Brook Lopez.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah.
If you're part of the Lopez family right now, I'd turn the channel.
Jeff Green compilation of his biggest dunks.
Yeah.
is
It'll be
Yeah.
good.
very
That's a
nice.
big one. Because we stick with Brook Lopez this time.
not again.
This
Come
time, getting dunked on by
okay.
Kevin Durant. Now it's a bit of a thrunk here.
Yeah, it's thrunky.
Yeah,
A little
but
more to the side, a little more respectable.
he sort of slaps it in. Ugh. A little more to the side, but Brook's still in the picture.
Here comes a monster DeAndre jam. Chris Paul, DeAndre.
That's a thrunk, too.
Yeah, that's his patented thrunk.
Yeah, Powell pushes him in the chest, doesn't matter.
No. Yeah.
and just rolls his eyes after him. Getting dunked on. Oh, man.
At number 2, we have a pair of Malcolm Brogdon dunks versus the Cavs. First on Kyrie Irving, and he lets him know about it. He gives him a little stare back. Yeah, that was me. And then Malcolm gets the best of the king. The president outduels the king here. LeBron usually blocking those shots.
Yeah.
Brogdon knows it, so he just hammers it home quickly.
LeBron looking for the revenge on the Kyrie.
And at number 1, a game winner. Rodney Hood said the only game winners he hit were on his driveway as a kid. Until now.
Ooh, a little shimmy there,
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Antoine
that's
Walker
Antoine,
shimmy.
Shimmy all you want.
Man, that's nice.
I love that it's at home, too.
Yeah.
You get the crowd erupting.
What's under Rodney's hood? A game winner.
Right, there it is. Top 10 plays from the past 7 days. Final break here, but when we return, we will merge feats of strength with my latest pick'em payoff. Oh, joy.
Oh, joy is right.
On today's Drop podcast, which is available on iTunes and Google Play, we share our NBA Christmas wish lists, air some inter-office grievances, and in the spirit of the holidays, Lee lets us know who he thinks is the NBA's jolliest player.
I just can't get over Andrew Wiggins' smile.
Okay, yeah.
You know, it's a beautiful smile. It really lights up the room because when he's not smiling, he looks like a different person.
Yeah.
And then he smiles and he's got a big, beautiful mouth and his eyes light up. He does. I just think he would bring cheer to any room. That if he walked in here right now and smiled, I guarantee everyone would smile.
Okay, from weird to weirder, it is time for someone to do something very embarrassing on the show. Let's look at our final pick'em payoff results. Skeetsy, the loser at 6-10. Every night we pick games, the loser at the end of the month has to do something embarrassing. Well, this month, we're playing Ice Chest.
Wow, it's been a while.
What does that mean? Well, that means Skeets has to take off his sweater and bareback it. Now, let me tell you the story of Ice Chest. It was born in a hotel room in 2011. Some guys were riled up. They decided, hey, let's take off our shirts and throw ice at each other. Now, usually, the guy who's getting hit, Skeets in this instance, would be able to throw back at some point, but because he is the loser of the pick and payoff, he's just
Good
getting
thing
hit.
I don't have any chest hair. You can just slap that on there. Oh, glasses. Yeah, geez.
Oh, yeah.
All
Safety
right.
first. So Trey's going to get us started here.
Oh, man, I forgot this game sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Right on the shoulder, left shoulder. Oh, right on the gut.
Whoa.
Please drop it.
I like the flex.
Keep it low, Nellis. Nellis, you know the rules of Ice Chest. Keep it low.
Got you right in the trap.
Oh, man, you guys got good arms today. Ali, you stink.
This is a blast.
We need bigger ice.
Okay. Hit. Oh, man.
It's getting a little high.
You guys are losing steam. You're throwing out your arms. Oh, good one.
Oh, you're just a softie.
Whoa. Holy
All right.
moly,
Okay,
man.
how about we get a little firing squad here? Fire.
Oh, wow.
Oh, way off.
All right. Well, thanks to the NBA store for these sweaters, I'm getting hot now.
My glasses don't fit.
We'll see you Monday for a great season review show. Thanks for joining us, and remember, don't try this at home. We are professionals.
Someone straight shot me. Oh, embrace the New Year, people.